What's going on, guys? It's Red Bull Tanker, and welcome back to HBG's The Korean War. This is now turn 5, and we had a lot happen, so let's get to it. Alright, North Korea. North Korea had 32 to spend because of, now the collect income phase has gone to the beginning of the turn. So at the beginning of the turn, the North Koreans collected 32 IPC. They purchased 2 infantry, 2 artillery, and 3 tanks, and saved 3 IPC. They did one major thing of combat, and was they did the bold risk and attacked Seoul, and it worked out pretty decently for them. They went in with 4 infantry, 3 artillery, 1 mech, 3 tanks, and 4 aircraft against 9 South Korean infantry, 1 AAA, and a UN fighter. The AAA missed against the fighters, so none of the North Korean fighters were shot down. All the Allied forces were lost, and the North Koreans lost the 4 infantry and 3 artillery. But the North Koreans do now hold Seoul, or they hold Seoul. That was 6 IPC taken from the South Koreans. However, even though they lost their capital, the South Koreans will still be able to build on Busan down here in the south. So that did kind of, it hurts them, but the South Koreans are still in the game. Next. And then, let's see here, for the non-combats, the North Koreans moved this army down from Hanggu. They moved these forces from Pyongyang. Moved these guys out of Kusong. Just trying to get units pushed down south to reinforce what has happened here in Seoul. And then they placed their purchases, 2 infantry, 2 artillery, and 3 tanks on Pyongyang. China. Alright, China didn't do anything this turn because this is an odd numbered turn, so China didn't do anything. The South Koreans. Alright, so outside of the Chinese did collect their 35. Excuse me. Yes, China did collect their 35. Alright, South Korea collected 20 IPC plus 1 that they had saved from the previous turn, so they had 21 to spend. All they did was purchase 7 infantry and place it in Busan, and they did not make any movements this turn because there was a lack of supplies here in Pohang to move these forces forward. Alright, the United States. The U.S. collected 50 IPC. They bought 1 mech, 5 supplies, then 2 infantry, 2 tanks, 2 transports, and saved 9 IPC. The U.S. did make their first combat move this turn. They used the B-29 here in Busan and did a strategic bombing raid against the factory here in Seoul. The factory's AAA missed, and the bomber only dealt 4 damage. And then on the non-combat, the bomber returned to Busan. And the U.S. just continued to consolidate their positions here in Sanggu with the 24th Infantry Division and the 25th Infantry Division, along with some massive air asset. And then they moved their air assets from Busan to Sanggu as well. Other non-combats, this fighter came off the supply track and landed in Busan. On the supply track itself, as you can see, the rest of the 25th Infantry Division is about to land, along with 2 more fighters and 2 regiments from the 1st Armored Division. And everyone else has just slowly been moving forward. And then for the deployments, the U.S. deployed their mech and 5 supply at Busan. And then on the supply track, starting the route to Korea, we have the 3rd Infantry Division and the reconstituted 5th Armored Division. and they are on their way to Korea. All right, over to the UN. The UN collected 20 IPC this turn, plus 3 that they saved from last turn. They just decided to buy 2 fighters. They did have combat this turn, just like the Americans. The UN took their bomber from Gwangju, went up and bombed the factory at Seoul. The AAA missed, and the UN scored 6 hits. So all total, the factory is damaged for 10. So there is 10 damage on the Seoul factory. Airsoft Commando will have to pay off that 10 before he can place units. Next turn. Non-combats. The UN moved some supplies out of Gwangju North. They moved their infantry and artillery from Gwangju to Daejeon. And then, just like the Americans, just getting stuff pushed forward on the supply track heading for Korea. All right, and then that'll be it. So that'll be it for turn 5. The game has, like I said, the game has finally started to make some momentum, and we will have to see where we go from here. So that is it for now, guys, and we'll see you guys next time for turn 6. So until then, guys, as always, take care.